All right, what's up? All right, I'll be joined by Zach Lowe and Ramona Shelburne here in just a bit. But first, here's Kevin Durant earlier at Nets Media Day when asked about Kyrie Irving. Let's take a listen.
Kyrie is not here today. There's this law here in New York with health and safety protocols. Are you concerned about his availability at home games going forward?
No.
So you expect that not to be an issue?
I expect it not to be. That's on Kyrie, and that's his personal decision. What he does is not on us to speculate what may happen. But we trust in Kyrie, and I expect us to have our whole team at some point.
All right, and now joining us is the man who asked KD that question, Brian Windhorst. Kyrie Irving was not present at Nets Media Day due to health and safety protocols. And here's what he said about his vaccination status when asked at a virtual press conference.
Honestly, I like to keep that stuff private, man. I'm a human being first, and obviously living in this public sphere, there's just a lot of questions about what's going on in the world of Kyrie, and I think I just would love to just keep that private and handle it the right way with my team and go forward. Obviously I'm not able to be present there today, but that doesn't mean that I'm putting any limits on the future of me being able to join the team. And I just want to keep it that way. So please respect that, my privacy.
So welcome back, Brian. So how are the Nets handling this controversy surrounding Kyrie?
Well, you can understand why this is confusing, because last week General Manager Sean Marks said, we expect everybody to be ready. Here today we have Kevin Durant saying, I don't expect his availability to be a problem. You have Kyrie saying, I'm not going to talk about it, but I expect to be with my team. But that isn't clear how any of that's going to happen. And what they've said was going to happen isn't happening. So it definitely leaves you in a bit of a weird scratching your head world here. The thing about this is not on the NBA's terms. This is a decision by the city of New York. He cannot get an exemption from the NBA and play, and he is facing the reality. If he doesn't become compliant or get an exemption, he is not going to be able to practice here in Brooklyn, and he is not going to be able to play in games here in Brooklyn, in New York, in San Francisco, and potentially even in Toronto. That's well over half of the season. That is not a tenable way to go forward. So how this proceeds from here is really a mystery. We are in completely uncharted territory. We have never seen anything like this. The Nets have been working on this, George, for 4 or 5 weeks. This isn't something that just landed on their lap. Since this order came down in mid-August, they knew this potentially could be a problem. They had several other players who were not compliant. Those players became compliant because everybody was here today except for Kyrie, and we will just have to wait and see what happens next.
And since we've heard from two of the big three, let's hear from James Harden, Brian, who you spoke to as well, and asked about his personal contract extension as we talk actual basketball here.
It's not about the money for me. It's not about, I've been on enough teams where we fell short. My mindset and my goal is to make sure that we're able to build and continue to build this team to be able to compete and contend for multiple years at the highest level. So it's not about the money. You win a championship in New York, the money will come.
So certainly that contract situation is something that people are going to keep an eye on, Brian. So do you get a sense the Nets and Harden will get a deal done soon?
Well, this is the other thing that's going on with the Nets. Earlier this summer, when they got the Kevin Durant extension done, Sean Marks said he hoped by today that that Harden and Kyrie Irving would have similar long-term extensions. That has not happened. And the reason I asked Harden that question was because he can sign a contract extension right now for 3 years, or if he becomes a free agent next year, he can sign for 5 years and about $90 million more. That's why he says the money doesn't matter, but frankly, I don't 100% believe that. The money has to matter at that level. So, and with Kyrie Irving, they're trying to get him on the court to play now, much less worrying about 3-4 years from now. So those deals not getting done, I would say it's mildly concerning because no player likes to have this hang over them in training camp, and you don't want Irving and Harden to be possible free agents next year. So another thing to watch with the championship favorite Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, certainly not what Sean Marks envisioned by any stretch of the imagination. Brian, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, man. Going to be interesting as heck to follow all season long. So thanks again.
Thanks, George.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.